grab my drink.
All right. What was that music? Who was playing that?
Todd Snyder.
A little Todd.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that song for the movie.
We can play it on Patreon. So.
Yeah, Too Soon to Tell. He's friends with Richard Lewis. Richard Lewis called in on one of his Sunday morning. Todd does these Sunday morning concerts from his place that are fucking great. He's now got a teleprompter. He goes, John Prine had one, so I'm going to try it. And he's doing song. He goes, I'm doing songs I don't know. Anyone can get up here and do stuff they know. But he's, I love that song, Too Soon to Tell. I want it for the movie that Provenza's working on. But I got an update on the comedy special.
Oh, really?
And I quizzed Castles, who said, no, we paid Shaylee. And I go, I don't think Shaylee got paid. So if you did not get paid, then it was a mistake that you were supposed to get paid. You will get paid, but Provenza sent me, Provenza edited my comedy special. And now I'm using the term special.
Finished?
No, not finished. It's but he's got no out and no exit. But we have that gun, the explosions and the machine gun shit. So he's working on that stuff, but he has the comedy show edited. Paul didn't give me any compliments, but I heard him through Chris Castles, who said, Chris told me some shit that made me feel very happy about it. Which I don't get happy. So that's cool that Paul's, Paul says he thinks it's fucking great or good. It has its challenges. We have the challenge of one of the guys put the back camera and set it on auto focus. The one we wanted to draw the main shot.
That's terrible.
Shit
that's
like that.
That's a fireable offense, frankly.
Exactly.
I remember at one point there was someone in the front row. Do you remember someone in the front row had like a big tall hat?
Yeah, that
Suzanne's boyfriend,
cowboy
so
guy.
Every time he moves over.
Yeah, it's the same guy who booked the fucking ventriloquist in the front row of the funny boat. Handling seats for Andy's special at the Funhouse.
No shit, yeah. The guy with
the big cowboy hat right up front. Have a seat.
You look like Clint Eastwood in that Drifter movie, High Plains Drift. Come on in, sit up front. Anything that's a.
He had a serape on and like a 10-gallon hat.
What?
Yeah.
He looks like he was dressed. That's it.
I didn't know it was fucking cartoon night.
He looked like cosplay from High Plains Drifter. That's no shit, Andy.
Yeah. It was like, what the fuck? I know. There's a time in like Montana where a guy come in and I go, "Is everything okay, Marshall?" The guy's dressed like a fucking cowboy and comes in there, that's fucking clanking. You got spur. But I've always been distracted by cowboys coming into a comedy show, and it happened in Austin, Texas. Because Austin, Texas, the Velveeta Room's right next door. They share business space with something that has Follies in the title, because that's where I got my check, was from Dolly's Follies or whatever's next door. But when that show lets out, they try to busker you over to the comedy show. So it was a nightmare. I was like doing a show for 8 people.
What venue was that?
In the Velveeta Room. That night, there was a music. There wasn't anybody in the crowd because they'd announced I would be there. And they
had a warning. They warned everyone.
So they tried to busker people over, and at first it was like 8 old ladies show up, and they didn't stick around long. It's like
that was actually Dolly.
Yeah, like there comes, they had the same hair as fucking Drowsy Dolls, and they sat there all pleasant and left. And then it's like, and then 8 cowboys come in and replace in the same seats that the ladies just bolted from. So I was like, and then I was like, are you fucking with, I'm not doing comedy anymore. What's next? Like 10 construction workers and 10 Indians with the fucking 4 full fucking teeth, I'm not pulling for this village people bullshit,
9 vampires sitting down in the front row. It's like, wait a minute, there couldn't be 9 vampires.
Wow, what a fucking great way to fucking pull a thing on fucking shit comedy. Let's do that. Let's like all dress up like fucking nurses or, Oh, you guys nurses? No. Just go on with your act, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that on every show, and our tour, we could call it "They Kicked Us Out for Laughing."
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
the wrong thing.
There was a place on the last tour, and I think it was a Comedy Zone in Greensboro, and they share a parking lot with like Bob's Country Bunker.
From the Blues Brothers movie.
Yeah, like it's a huge warehouse that basically they want people to come early to go to the Greensboro because they'll get free tickets to get into Bob's Country Bunker or something like that. But their parking lot is huge for them, not the Greensboro Comedy Zone. I think that's the one. It's a Comedy Zone, and we've never been to and will not be back. But it is one of those things where like that's what you want before they go over to Bob's Country Bunker. They're all duded up, looking like Clint Eastwood, waiting to just get through their curly fries to go to get free into the. They just have to suffer through this comedy show, and then they get free admission, $4 admission to get into the bunker.
Yeah. Honey, I know this sucks, but we're gonna be boot scooting, boogieing all night long for free. Just sit and listen to it.
We can talk the whole time. We can talk.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what he thinks.
I'll tell you, this is probably.
You should have been here last night when Stanhope was here. It was good then.
I was just thinking, this is probably something. It's been. I don't mix well with people who really enjoy curly fries, and that's probably
not fair. That's not fair. I love curly fries. I love curly fries, and I consider you a good friend. So.
All right.
Maybe I'm just the exception that
you might be the Clarence Thomas exception.
I do have confirmation it was Greensboro, and of course we'd go back there. I'm just fucking around.
No, fuck the Comedy Zone.
You know what I was just thinking while you were. I don't even know why it popped in my head. Sometimes I get bad ideas, and then they're hard to talk myself out of, and I don't have anyone to talk to. So I was thinking because I've been here in my hometown of. Hang on.
Perfect.
Of that town is having protest in favor of the fucking retard cunt. There's a big show of fucking cunts down there, and I was just thinking I should get a bullhorn and head on down there. I need a road trip.
They're having a pro-racism protest?
Yes. Yeah, pro-racism fucking cunts down there.
Andy, you don't read signs all the time. Are you sure? Did you read it?
No, my friend Neil's down there, and he said, go out, and there's guys with guns and show force for Trump. And I'm like, thinking Jesus in my head, Christ. I need to get a bullhorn and head down there and just fucking have at it.
You're going to get murdered. Don't do it.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it. I can read a crowd. Especially,
I'm not sure
especially if I ain't that
That's
drunk.
not a good defense.
The best thing is Andy will go down to Coquille. He'll set up this whole plan. He'll burn these fuckers with his bullhorn mic. He'll get them all riled up. They'll be chasing him down the streets of Coquille, but he'll stay ahead of them because he runs like an old white man.
Well,
but he can run a long way, and he'll get to his room at the Coquille bed and breakfast, and he'll be like trying to get his key in, and he'll be like, "Oh."
I'd run right. I would run like a fucking wolf right back to the Andrus den, the old Andrus house, and hide. I know places that probably the people who own the home haven't been.
Like Parasite.
Yeah. Oh man, the basement of that house is the creepiest fucking place I've still ever been in my life. And I've been in the property Jeffrey Dahmer lived on. You know.
What? Really?
Yeah, the Andrews basement. It was dirt, and there was just Larry. There's all kinds of weird shit down there. I don't know.
Four older brothers.
I don't know what happened before I got there or after, but fuck my hometown.
That's not a fair picture, Shady.
Not fuck my hometown, but fuck those dullards that are. I mean, listen. You guys have never left Coquille intellectually, and you should probably just not even have opinions. Unless it involves Cartoon Network or fucking cheese fries. Just shut your fucking pie holes. You're fucking dumb.
It's one of those things when you realize like you don't know enough about the situation to have an opinion. So you should just be like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna let them figure it out, and whatever they do, I'll just go along with it. It's like if I took my car to a mechanic, I'm not gonna argue with him about what he says it is because I don't know shit about that.
Yeah,
so
you sit at the kids' table.
I shouldn't have a vote that's equal to the mechanics on what we do to the engine. You know, like we shouldn't have the same amount of voting power there.
Yeah, you don't want to be highwayman.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like the people of Coquille that are out there protesting in favor of Trump. You've never experienced any of that shit. You should probably have lived the life I did there, where I knew it didn't matter and I wanted to die all the time because I felt like I'm a worthless piece of shit. And then I left Coquille and I realized I was a worthless piece of shit there. My opinions didn't matter to anybody, and I should have kept my fucking yap shut and drowned in the river with my friend Mitch, who knew when to exit. You know, he didn't commit suicide. He just got a sense of what was coming.
Life is the only time, Andy, you didn't leave stage too early. So, you know, I think we're all better for it.
Yeah. I want to go down. Let's do a podcast like we joked about it, but I wouldn't mind when like fucking do a fucking vodcast from the fucking Andy Andrews childhood yard, and then we could rent out the rooms.
I want to fucking rent it out.
But then
I want to rent it out and do a fucking
Scooby-Doo
type thing where we fucking stay the night and we have adventures.
Listen, one of the only.
Then we find out Larry did it when we rip his mask.
We could go do a podcast.
And he would have got away with it too.
We could go. Listen, we could do a little road trip. We could start on that end. We could go Coquille, and then Larry is right up the road and at the end of a fucking dirt road in a mildewy trailer, and we could sit outside of that and fucking podcast from Larry with Larry. He's he ain't gonna be around. He's got about as much chance of living as this country's democracy, which is already dead. You know, I know people are gonna say it's already dead. Well, then you're saying Larry's already dead.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, in a lot of ways he is. But anyway, I saw that there was a podcast from uprising down there. Yeah, start here in Eugene, flight into Eugene because there won't be anybody at the airports or around, and then fucking road trip down to Coos Base 2 hours, and then go do. I want to start fucking flying a little. I'm not flying, moving out. Drives. Fucking fun drive, partying. I'm making my fucking move soon.
Mitchell and I are going to escape the helicopters in a couple days. So
where to?
We're going to an undisclosed location.
All right. Meth bunker. No, I mean, I get it. You're going to stay in your place, tarp up the thing and die. And I get it. I've seen the news.
I got a green screen behind me. I'm going to do the whole backdrop thing. It's like, I'm in Germany. Look at me holding up a beer. Hey, it's the Oktoberfest.
The most romantic thing you can do in 2020 is like, remember, have you ever had the simultaneous orgasms? It's like, that's fucking, you know how hard it is to come at the exact same time.
I can't wait to hear where this is going.
Murder, or, suicide at the same, instead of like, oh, boom, and then you kill. No, it's like,
like
a simultaneous suicide is going to be the ultimate fucking love thing now.
Yeah, Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. Find somebody that you love that has the same lung capacity, and that is a sentence. You can go out in your own garage, and don't be a dullard about it. Don't stare at all the shit on your shelves. Put a fucking movie on a DVD or a beautiful picture in your windshield.
You're gonna commit suicide with the love of your life while watching Goonies on a fucking Blu-ray in the garage. Jesus Christ.
Like a drive-in for two.
With a decorative window shade spread across the screen with a beach scene on it.
I'm gonna have to.
There's a glare.
I'm gonna have to move some stuff in my basement and break the news to my roommate. She ain't gonna be in the co-piloting seat at all. I mean, she's got her own exit strategy, Actually, she doesn't. No, she's gonna stay here.
She's got plans for after that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said sarcastically, I ain't helping her move in the in the next thing. But I mean, I'm phasing out my property. I'm becoming less and less viable as a person.
Less and less essential.
I'm just done with it, man.
Hey, we had a good run, all of us.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know that I'm a bit of an empath. I hate the term. It hasn't been an easy fucking
an empath.
It hasn't been the best 30 years to be an empath. And I'm ready to fucking go on my own path.
You piece of shit. Empath. Yeah.
I'm as much as that as I'm a Leo.
Exactly.
But I'm ready. I'm ready to downsize, put my crossbow.
Empathy is not a noun. It can't be used it's not, you can't be one. It's just a characteristic you have.
Right.
You can be a noun if you're all verb up in it.
It doesn't make you otherly.
If you're verbing, you can be a noun if you got enough adjectives to throw at the fire.
You can be webbing.
Yeah. That's just
out here webbing, dude.
That's just trying to find out if we're being trolled by Trump people, because that would have just what? No, I don't even know if I'm right, but it's just thinking about it and kill a guy. My brother David was just here, and I found out he doesn't listen to the podcast, and he definitely doesn't Patreon. And and I'd just like to say, man, fuck you, Dave. You're a dick, man. I'm sorry your lady cheated on you or whatever, and it's a bummer. But that doesn't give you an excuse for cutting corners as a carpenter. He's over here, and he put
doing work for you, Andy, or is this just?
I think he was looting. I don't know. I could get. It's like, and plus,
loot
it's
your
like
fucking marigolds.
And you want to know what a hypocrite feels like? Go to a church. Well, no, I told that lady to keep it down because I was podcasting a couple of weeks ago or a week ago on an afternoon. My brother David's out here at 7, sawing and grinding and shit. But we redid the rails on both of these decks. But he left more gap. Like, my brother David has the most cartoonish gap teeth of any of us. And he was the firstborn. So it's like, God damn it, Mom and Dad, don't have any other babies. Well,
they're not even going to fix the first one's teeth. The next 4 aren't.
If you want to.
Is David the one who was dressed as a kind of girly?
Well, he got dressed like a dolly back in the day. He's the one. He's the one I suspect had the Jim Brown Playgirl mixed in with the Playboys and Penthouses that me and Jeff stole and laid on. And neither of us knew what to do with Jim Brown, but we both respected him. And I never, ever respected another male more because like a formative years. And that was I was like, that's what I'm going to have someday. And I'm still hoping, I gotta, I don't know. Do I need to go to Cleveland?
And he's being mentored by a Playgirl centerfold cutout of Jim Brown.
But also there's a little thing, and David, don't listen. Harold Peaker was a guy who infiltrated our family. He was and he was about 4 or 5 years older than my brothers, and he was the guy who was raping my middle brother. And he was also the Santa Claus who groped me while my family or somebody took a Polaroid. But nonetheless, live and learn. Harold Peaker was a child molester and a rapist of my brother John. And my brother John insists there was some sort of devil cult going on in my hometown of Coquille. And now I ain't doubting none of it. John's a weird motherfucker, and he's a Jesus freak. And it's probably, I like this Patreon thing. Like, I can speak some shit about my brothers and all they have to do is pay $5 to hear it. Never collectively will ever be able to fucking do it. So fuck you, Larry, you fucking cunt. I'm glad I chipped your tooth out. You fucking weird fuck. But especially fuck you, Jeff. You fucking weird motherfucker. You owe me a bunch of Willie Mays and Hank Aaron cards. You fucking grifter. You fat fucking grifter. And David, when you're doing carpentry work around a guy's house, don't be in a hurry. He left more gaps. So I got a rail with more gaps in his big teeth, And he put a bunch of silicone in it. And he goes, yeah, you might want to let that dry before you paint it. Yeah, sure. Like just fucking Phil Swift might want to let that boat dry before he puts it out in the water with Flex Seal in it. Yeah, that's a big fucking caps. You feel, and then he goes, you're out of caulking. Well, yeah, I guess so. Because you fucking sawed it an inch wrong, you dumb. Well, anyway, it's good to have help. And anyway, he is, it's like social distance. He's like, it's like fucking piss splatter, motherfucker. Yeah, okay. All right.
God, it is some beautiful, sweet revenge. Yeah, it's beautiful, sweet revenge for your brothers to have to pay $5 a month to hear what my brother about them. If they really want to get pissed off about it, let them fucking join the Patreon. And we'll gladly take their money, and then they can respond to anything they hear on the.
What my brother Jeff? The difference between me and my brother Jeff is well, one, we both dated the same guy, but I got a second date, yo. But
it's only because you didn't have a little brother.
Yeah. The well ran dry.
That hurts, bro. That's the weird part. That was the weird thing, is this one dude got a hold of me and said he was molested by the same guy, and I was like, I knew he was cheating on me. It's like the last thing you hold on to is like, I was special though. Oh no, not this dude. Don't tell me I was just another white trash kid with gap teeth and inattentive parents. No!
Andy, I did see on Twitter, Bobby was setting up the pedophile challenge. He had childhood pictures of Andy, himself, and Stanhope, and he was going to see, which one's the pedophiles preferred in prison. Andy won by default. Because Andy's Boy Scout picture was so gay that the prison denied it entry. They would not let the picture into the prison. So I think Andy wins.
Porn. I was sending child porn. I was sending child porn with my hips. I had the most dangerous child hips. I was the Elvis of childhood. He's illegal from the waist down. Don't look.
He's got the devil in him.
I was
your hips made that noise.
I was the jailbait rock. Jailbait rock. Man. You put on the uniform and boom, I'm up on the tabletops, and all the prisoners like, I ain't even gay, but I'm raping it.
The other pictures just look like little kids, and Andy's looked like it was pornography.
I'll have to. I'm still holding back on one. It was my acting debut, and I'm actually wearing my least. I wore this on Portlandia when I worked with Stephen Buscemi. But my acting debut was like some grade school or kindergarten production, or maybe the guy who molested me put it together. But I was an elf, and I was like doing some sort of hark, looking over the landscape or whatever. But it was probably the landscape of humanity, and I was about to get raped by Santa Claus. It looked like a Christmas production. I never ever heard any kind of story as to why I was dressed like an elf in a play. But I did a lot of fucking weird shit. I lack direction. That was easily influenced.
Yeah, it's ironic for that to happen in a play.
Oh, but I started to say this is the difference between me and my brother Jeff. Is both of us, I got a picture of us at Christmas, and we both had Johnny West and Jim's playing Dolly out under the Christmas tree. Like, it's like when you say get a room. So you guys can't even wait to play with your dollies. And but Jeff got this collecting bug that my dad had. My dad had it to a degree. My dad had enough records to burn down our town, vinyl records. You know how flammable.
Is that the measure they like? There's like a crate
like
of
a
records.
murder of crows.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like my dad had a whole Jonestown of white bread records. You know, my whole family could have gone up in Bing Crosby's. You know, because he had
just the bees.
Well, when we went through his collection, it was very disappointing because you're like looking for fucking boom. Oh, there's the Beatles. Boom. And I mean, he had records back in the day, but apparently my dad was really a bummed out dude with white bread taste because he just, you know, he had some Bob Newhart's and stuff like comedy gems in there, but he didn't have.
Was it good?
Yeah, no, he had some gems in there,
mine.
but there was a lot of shit in there, and you know, eventually we had to just let it go. But back in the day of my dad had when he had to have this next level of care, he had kidney failure, and basically had to have a sterilized room. And my brother Larry, and so my mom was up with my dad at a hospital, and I bounced back to the house there to sterilize my old man's hoard. It was like a de-hoard of my old man's room, records, stamp covers, every pair of fingernail clippers he ever accused anybody else of walking off with. Shit like that. A bunch of fucking shit, you know, just weird shit, you know. It was like, but it was me and a discovery of my, like Doug did with his mom, but it was me and
How
the
old
time.
Were you?
This was, I'm, you know, in my 20s easily.
Okay.
You know, but my dad, because my dad died when my daughter was born, before my daughter was born, because we're all about zero population in my family. So the old man had to go before my kid could come out. But when I cleaned out,
the universe has to have only a certain number of andrists existing at one time.
One in, one out.
Andrist equation.
Well, and you can only have one Andy Andrus website, because every time I've given up an Andy Andrus domain, it's turned into some, like, though currently andyandrus.net is like where you can get clothes for Sherpas. if you're buying gifts for Sherpas in your life. And before that, andyandrus.com became a panty site, Japanese panties. I could never, you know.
So that's when you were at that point still running it.
I couldn't figure out if they're new or used. Well, I would have. I mean, I would be in the used, like as a collector. But my dad was a hoarder, and I don't understand where that came from. But he had his own controlled hoard, and then the rest of the house could just be described as sloppy. And like I said, one time a paramedic said we need to clean up a room to get the stretcher out. But my dad's room was stamped, you know, collectible shit. But shit, it didn't matter to nobody else. I got a bunch of, you guys will love this and want one. He collected milk cap covers back in the day. Oh yeah, from different dairies.
Oh, like Pog? No.
Yeah, like Pog, kind of. Yeah,
oh, they
like
were paper.
Like the glass gallon containers.
Yeah.
No, but just the lid, the thing. It was like a round thing, and it said so and so dairy. And holy shit, you know,
God.
I would have to fight people. Yeah, there you go. So that's andyandrus.com.
That's actually .net, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And I do have a new website, so you can go to the Twitter and find it. And Brittany keeps it up and keeps it current, which is something I've never. James Inman used to do my website.
That's why
he's a retard.
People won't think it's actually your website when they see that all this stuff is current on it. They'll be like, well, this is fake. Talk about photoshopped. This is clearly photoshopped.
And she keeps up on this. So she's, you know, it's like what I envisioned a website being, but you have to put effort into it. And I didn't, and, you know.
Like
so now
a lot of things.
But now somebody's doing that. So I mean, I'm not. It's not that I'm not proud of the Sherpas getting because I love them headbands and I want one. I mean,
and that's,
you know,
that is my favorite.
Dude.
That is my favorite Andy Andrews quote right there. If I have to pick one,
which one?
Shaylee,
For
can you
nah,
move your head?
it's
gone. Go back to that last picture.
But I would like to, if somebody wants to get, you know, I don't know what subs are except for if you are abusing somebody that would take it. You know, like I'm subbing this is my sub, and it's like, oh, why can't he breathe? You know, oh, he's my sub, or you know, I'm teaching him manners. But if I could get some Sherpa gear, holy shit, you know, something from andyandrus.net, I would love to be able to have some credibility to buy a scarf at andyandrus.net.
You should just go on there like like Remington Steele and be like, "Oh, I'm Andy Andrist, so
I
I'll
would
take
know.
some of my
When-
Sherpa shit now."
This is
please."
what I envision. I'm going to do that Akawaka. Wow, God damn it. You know, the hallucinogen. Ayahuasca. And I'm going to show. Fuck you. I know. God damn it. I should have a fucking
I love you,
theorist
man.
out
I
here.
love you.
I should have a theorist out here to tell me how to say shit. But I'm going to show up at that factory and with my Sherpa fucking scarves when they arrive. And I'm going to, I'm good. I don't give I'm not tethered no more. And I'm going any place and every place. And I'm going to show up at my factory and go, "Hey, man, I need one of them scarves."
Just one. I came all the way.
I want to make sure that you have white kids working in the fucking tunnel here. Make sure this is all fucking evening out here in a global scale.
So you're going to use child labor in your scarf making
As
factory,
long
but they're
as
going to be white kids because it's
white
time
kids
they
named,
suffered.
yeah, the
That's
Megans.
fair.
They'll call them the Megans.
They'll pass a law against it 20 years from now called Megan's Law.
Yeah, Megan's Law.
This is what's at AndyAndress.com, Andy.
Oh shit!
It looks World
Yeah.
Cup-y, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what?
2%.
I know. I don't want to get
Yeah,
all. I don't want to get all
low
political.
interest rates and
but
fucking nachos.
you guys remember Pearl Harbor? They're kind of predatory. Those Japanese. I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're kind of. You know, they won't let it go. It's like, let AndyAndress.com go, but they're going to keep it in the Japanese family. Well, you know what? AndyAndress.net or I don't even know how to say what I have as my website. You can go to Twitter and find it, and I'll repost it.
There's nothing under Andy Andress that
What's
comes
great-
up for your
Right.
website.
I can't afford Andy. I can't afford my own domain.
Yeah,
I can't afford my name.
What's great is that, you know, you get the reason that happens is that, you know, you have it for a while and then you stop making payments on it because you're not using it anymore. And so, yeah, it lapses. Someone else grabs it.
It's like the Actors
Someone else
Guild.
grabs it, but the reason they grab it is because they can get it for nothing and they figure they can sell it back to you down the road and they'll put it up for a price. But same thing happened to me. But what these people don't realize is that Andy and I don't give any kinds of fucks about ever buying it back from them. So they can, and then they end up selling it to some fucking, you know, for anything to anybody. And now it's fucking scarves for Sherpas.
And then I had this as a thing as when I was in the Actors Union. When I was on the Man Show, I did enough things that I had to join the Actors Union. Like, we fucked up. I was like, oh,
the
shit.
Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah, so I was in the Screen Actors Guild. And then
wow.
I left Hollywood like everybody who has to join the union, you know, broken dreams and never to act again. And they still want you to keep paying in life. And then at the time I got letters, kind of threatening letters, and it was signed by Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had a rant where I was like, hey, motherfucking half a pint of potatoes. I ain't no actor, you fucking cunt. I ain't no actor, and I ain't paying you no fucking dues. When I was on the Man Show, one of the acting things is I did a voiceover where it was like a home shopping network, and it was piss soda, and I said, in the background, I said, tastes like piss. And then I got money, and I was like, fucking hey, man, I got $600 for saying that. And then I got a bill for like fucking $800. Fuck you, Actors Union, you cunt sucks. No, I ain't no actor. I'm a fucking prophet. You know, actor. I'm Charlie Manson with some skill sets. You know, God damn it. Now, because of you guys, you've hoisted me up. Now I'm Charlie Manson, a little man with a crossbow. That's all it takes.
Charlie Manson was a little man with a cross etched into his forehead, wasn't he?
Well, he was the whole agenda of Trump.
Maybe
basically Trump has stolen his agenda from Hitler and Charlie Manson. You know, he just doesn't do well with women, so he can't get them to do any of the. You know, his best chicks are that fucking what's the fucking one he just hired back, and then his daughter.
Hope Hicks
and his daughter are the ones who put him up to the church stunt.
Yeah.
I think bitches be trolling him.
Yeah.
Do this, it'll make you look powerful. take over. You know what? What makes you look more powerful than any man in America is taking over an Episcopal church courtyard. They're serving cookies. Bullshit. I'm knocking the cookies over and telling everybody to get the fuck out. I'm a strong man. Tear gas. Clear out. Clear out. There you go. Yeah. I got a name tag at my Episcopal church.
Did you talk about him getting trolled? Remember when we talked about he was at the Mask Factory and they played Live and Let Die?
Yeah.
He was at Cape Canaveral watching the SpaceX rocket go up with American astronauts in it. And they played as he walked out to his like viewing platform area, they played Macho Man.
I bet it's
no joke. And he's standing there and he's just like, yeah. Like it's like there's no irony.
Yeah.
People always say, like, people from Europe say Americans don't understand irony, and it's true because, like, if he had any understanding of it, there's no way he would allow that. But to him, it's like
someone on the team should have said,
"What are we doing here?"
Yeah.
You know what I can't wait for is Putin's man talk to come. You know, when we can someday theorize or actually I want to hear what Putin said to him in the bunker. You know, and in translation, man up, you fucking cunt. You want to be you know, I've put too much into this, and then he like fucking comes out of the lights, turns the lights on, and then he's like, God damn, fuck, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. You're like, well, yeah, you know, everybody's real believable after they hid in their fucking house for 3 days or his lights out. Don't answer the phones. Nobody answer the phones. And then you come out and go, oh, fuck you.
He said today that he wasn't actually in the bunker. He just went down there for an inspection.
Yeah.
When I go under my house, I'm not masturbating. I'm looking to see if there's scrap lumber I can use on projects.
I saw after he did that thing, Joe Biden did a speech and sounded like a president, you know. Then I thought, you know what? Remember when all we used to expect of a president was that someone could write him a good speech and he would fucking deliver it and shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, that guy's a douchebag, but for fucking 5 minutes he stood up there and recited a speech that sounded presidential as fuck.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on.
Go ahead.
Let me interrupt, Andy. It's very interesting that you say that right now because I think in 8 minutes, Barack Obama is going to give his first public speech. He's going to do his first public speak about it.
You know what I love about Brett Erickson? Brett Erickson is very well spoken for a white guy. Basically, I think Brett Erickson's articulate.
Did you say that with a hard T?
Well spoken. Well spoken, that one.
I mean, honestly, you know, they talked about how whatever side of it you're on, that, you know, the irony of Obama and like, oh, he's so divisive. He drove this country apart. It's like, there's nothing he did. He didn't do that. He didn't do that many great things as president, but he could give a fucking speech. And that's all that needs to happen right now. Carrie Mitchell was talking about it. Like Trump just needs to come out and just say, I'm with you. I understand. We're going to fix it. And some of the stuff would stop, but he's incapable of
escalating.
Here's
the
problem.
Knows how to escalate.
He doesn't even have to mean it. He just has to give the 5-minute speech and go the fuck away. But he won't even do it.
You know what they should do? You know what they should do is give him an elephant dose of Molly. And turn the cameras on. Just go fucking do it, man. Because he's an ad-libber. And if he has empathy all pumped into him for the first time ever, he'll start going, oh, you know, God, my wife hates me. I don't love her. I've never done my daughter's sex. I have fucked my daughter. It's probably fucked her up. I've done nothing but terrible things, but all I wanted was to be like,
I love you guys, man. I love you guys.
And then Macho Man comes on and
he starts grinding on Bill Barr.
Yeah, it's like people, you know, it's like, fuck, man. I'm just, you know, God, it's like when you're a cunt and people hate you and then you just get mad about it. But it's like, we go, all I wanted was just people to not call me a cunt. And then maybe I wouldn't, he's a reactionary. So it's like, okay, let's go way back. You were the cunt first, Don. And that first person who bullied you and called you a cunt, it's not our fault, man. Relax.
Are you Goodwill Hunting Donald Trump right now?
You're an angry cunt, and people have hated you your whole life, and he's reacting to the first slight, and then another slight happens, and then more, and he can't let it go. He's never been able to let it go.
Totally right. You're totally right.
Probably a vampire. Your dad looks like a fucking extra from a wax museum. I'm sure they fucked you, and they probably, your fucking mouth forms a perfect O. Nobody's mouth does that unless they sucked a lot of dick as a child. It's like braces, He had braces where he probably formed his whole fucking childhood was probably formed around his dad's cock, and of course he got money. We shouldn't be jealous. And then we were, And then he got mad, and then he took it out on the Negroes, and he took it out on everybody. But it's like, I think if we just give him enough Molly, and then we love him, and then we put him down at the end of that.
You just stroke him. And
that whole family.
On the ground with him. Well, the best part is, if you're gonna give him an elephant dose of Molly, you could get Don Jr. to do it. Like, we've got the biggest safari you've ever been on. Come with us. And then
the ironic part is,
gun, and then you across the rose garden lawn, and then
the only person his son is trained to shoot is his old man on Adderall, playing golf, lumbering across the course, knowing he's under duress, running. That's probably the only thing that Don Jr. is sporting enough to be able to. He's a fucking human elephant. He's a fucking, like if I were a shooter in a Walmart, I would look for, and I had no empathy, and I wanted to kill people. I'd look for thin people first. And then I would pick. It's like that line in Full Metal Jacket. Nobody watches the second part, but there's the best, most horrific line in the second part where a guy's shooting women and children in front of Joker in the helicopter, and Joker's like, "How do you shoot innocent women and children?" And the guy says, "It's easy. You just don't lead them as much." And he's right. Like, why can't somebody, scare him first and then just fucking wait for it. Wait, cameras, hey, you up over there? I'm gonna, boom, we're getting him. He's on the front lawn. It's like, how many photos could you take of him on the front lawn? Well, how many fucking darts could you put in that slow lumbering beast?
It would be fucking hilarious to hit him with a dart like a fucking elephant, like a tranquilizer dart of Molly. And he goes down, and then you run up, and, you put a fucking pacifier in his mouth and some fucking colored fucking bracelets on him, and some fucking real comfortable pajamas, so that he wakes up and he's like, what was that? Music bumping, and he's like, "What the fuck? Yeah, I'm ready to fucking love everybody."
Like the movie I Am Legend, only instead of trying to keep him from attacking, he just keep feeding this guy empathy and see how fucking human he is eventually. He's like, some of the shit I did to my daughter and my kids, I fucking hate him. The fucking Eric's a disappointment, but I should have done better by him. It's going to take years, He's going to have to be behind plexiglass, and we're going to have to get rid of the whole strain of it. The whole strain's got to be eliminated.
Yeah. Even add in the Kushner fucking vile line to that.
And the bars and all of them.
Tangent.
Eesh.
But
Deep
guys,
breath.
I tried not to watch a lot of stuff, and I went to, I'm doing other stuff, tried not to watch as much, because I think, it's hard not to I'm getting radicalized. Nobody's going to stop me here, and I'm not accountable to anybody. So I'm sorry. stockpiling gas cans and go under the radar, wear a mask on, not cover that, put a little bit of saran wrap over that license plate, maybe put some solid numbers down. I can go to Hobby Lobby and get some solid numbers and just maybe even
decals.
Maybe even find a similar car, see one, and then put that license plate number on mine with fake decals, and then just go on a road trip, just go somewhere, And I was like, I just want to go jerk off and have fun, but I'm like thinking, that's how radicalization takes place.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I just want to have pie, and then I'm like, I want to shove this pie down their throat and kill those motherfuckers.
Wasn't Andy just asking us all to go on a road trip?
Yeah.
Is he radicalizing us?
Accomplices.
I'm calling on our better big Jims.
I'm with you.
Let's not join.
Camper.
Let's not be Torpedo Fist, Dr. Steel, and Warpath.
No, I
Big
feel
Jim,
like
Big Jack, Big Josh, and Big Jack Off.
Yeah, we need to all put on our cutoff jean shorts and our way too small vests.
Yeah.
And fucking jump in the camper and just go have a cookout somewhere.
Hey, if Mishka
a couple days out in the woods.
If Mishka hadn't sold the Unbookables van so he could get a Datsun, so he could work on it shirtless in his yard with his cat. But that was almost the Big Jim van, that Unbookables thing. We could have put Big Jim on the side, but he ruined it. Like Mishka ruins everything except the Unbookables with his music, which made that movie so much better. It's the only thing that you could add Mishka's depressing music to and make it better.
Yes.
Except that and maybe Schindler's Fist.
Schindler's Fist? Is that your new Big Jim character?
No, the porno.
Schindler's Fist.
Oh.
There has to be one.
Yeah.
Just
he's made a list of hot, sexy Jews he's going to save.
Yeah. I tune into that Cooking with Andy show because I thought it was going to be more depressing because I saw that kickoff concert from Mishka. I was like, I thought it would be a guy in the kitchen getting ready to kill himself every episode.
Yeah.
But it's funny to actually watch the Andy Baker. I know he was inspired by Henry Phillips, and nobody's Henry Phillips, and not even Henry Phillips is Henry Phillips. He's become the highwayman. He's more.
Yeah, no, that I got the another fat guy cooks on YouTube. It is very funny, especially he just kind of was wearing a mask to do some hot sauce things, so ended up doing a dubbed voiceover of the whole thing instead of narrating it live.
I'll have to
and
watch
so
that.
now he makes fun of himself the whole way. You're very proud of yourself, aren't you, you fat fuck? I mean, it's very fucking
Should do it that way every time.
So he is now. Yeah, now he's doing it.
You could dub over yourself like that. Remember the show? It was on TNT or whatever. It was that Japanese game show, and then they would dub over it with it was called Most Extreme Elimination Challenge or whatever. It was like Takeshi's Castle or something like that in Japan. It was called. But and they just dub over the voices, and
you can go to Takeshi's Castle and get Andy Andrews merch on their website. You can get T-shirts from tours and posters and koozies.
It is kind of like the episode of The Simpsons when they found out that Homer Simpson's image was being used in Japan to sell light bulbs or whatever the fuck it was. I imagine like all of us are on an Issues with Andy tour through fucking somewhere in the fucking Mongolia or somewhere, and we're in like their version of a 7-Eleven, and there's Andy like thumbs up holding the fucking
I try to think
or something.
Especially the new entity of AndyAndrus.net. I try to think of it as like, this is a message. And it's like, I have been carrying my own stuff for years, and I am myself Sherpa, and how can I do, I think I should, I want to self Sherpa more, but I have been Sherpa-ing. I have been Sherpa-ing for other people, and now it's time to build my own ladders across retreating ravines of ice. I need to take life and death risk on my own behalf now instead of rich fucking cunts.
Oh my God.
Andy, I did find your website.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
that might be why it's so hard to find.
It doesn't matter.
It's
We
the
don't
only.
need to make fun of Brittany for it. I'm glad she's
No,
doing
no.
it.
No, I'm just saying
don't
that
even need a
you
website
can't
anymore.
get
That's-
Andy Andrus, so you
No,
have to get something.
She
Yeah.
had to choose something that was familiar, and it's a Wix site. She's done a great job, way better than Inman ever did. And this isn't to criticize
not
Inman.
set
This
extremely
isn't to
high.
criticize Inman, but he used it to as a terrorist against me.
Yes.
Like the one time I needed him to use it, he's like, Andy Andrus is a cunt and he won't return phone calls. And I got molested videos going to be released on Super Bowl Sunday. And Inman's like, oh, you didn't call me back. So, but she's put a lot of shit to it. And I haven't put as much effort as I want to into it, but I'm going to. But
you were
when I
trying
start
to
selling,
anticipate the spike of releasing molestation videos by having your website
And
available.
he chose to release the molestation video at the time of the most popular diversion in the world is happening live. So like that's your launch time.
well, but a
Going
lot
up
of it,
against the fucking Super
listen-
Bowl. It's like when
listen.
Aerosmith came back with Done with Mirrors in 1985 and they did the whole album cover backwards. It was like, really? That's how you're going to announce your comeback, by not letting anyone be able to read the fucking liner notes? Good
Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for a mind blower? And you know, okay. So like I said, the comedy specials. So Chris Castles picked up on something that I thought nobody would pick up on. Is the Mother Earth bit I was doing, and then especially to the entity I did in the taping, was kind of a callback of Aristocrats, and Paul Provenza. It's like he sent it to Chris Castles to watch yesterday and said, watch this. And then Chris called and talked to Paul and he goes, did you notice that he did the Aristocrats hidden as the Mother Earth bit? So anyway, but Shaylee at some point is audible going, oh no, or something with one of the but so I don't know what to do.
Well, excuse me.
Right, but here's the thing: is I don't know what to do because Paul. I have to watch it. Paul wants me to love it, and Paul's very excited. But I can't watch it alone because I got the ropes down, but Chris is excited about it, and you guys, some of you guys were there too. Most of us were there. Brad, I want to send you it to watch, maybe with me. Can me and you find a time to Zoom it today, tomorrow? You know, because I really want to give Paul feedback.
I'm escaping the helicopters, but yeah, let's maybe tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, tomorrow, and I'll put it off and everything. But
okay.
Paul is very enthused about it, and I think about like, God damn it, Paul's enthused, and he knows comedy. You know, he's not saying he's enthused because he wants to make me feel good. I mean, how much does anyone want to fuck me? You know, I mean, you know, there's certain lines you won't cross.
Well, it's interesting that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're not as sexy as you used to be.
No, neither me or Paul. You know, he might be in love with the ideal of me, like a lot of our listeners in prison.
Well, it's saying something that he just finished editing the entire thing, which is a laborious, drawn out thing where you work on it, and and he still likes it. That's a good sign.
No, he really likes it, and he put some of the lines in there I done the first night that I was not sure about, you know. But he found, but he goes, and I go, was there some consistency? And he goes, because I don't feel like I drink very much with my left hand, but the second night I felt awkwardly like I try to derail myself in ways I can't even envision. But I drank with my left hand, and I never drink out of my left hand as much as I feel like I do. But on that tape, he goes, you kept switching right and left like the fucking cups flying from one hand to the other.
Juggling act.
Yeah, but Paul, he got done with it, and and I didn't want to call him and talk to him about it because I wanted him to put every energy that he was putting into it, because I never asked him to even edit it. It would have been somebody else who didn't know comedy trying to do it. But Paul did it, and he's excited. He wants me to feel like it's the greatest, he wants me, so, I think.
Let's see it.
So
I'm excited to see it. I remember the material, dude. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
so
and then the fact is I snuck the Aristocrats under his fucking nose, and he's like, what? And he's like, no. I mean, it was not done in the same thing, but it was like I wanted it to pay homage to it without being a thing. So it was like I felt fucking smart that I hid something from everybody and it was found by Chris Castles. Okay.
Wait, you think it's a new thing that you're hiding things in your comedy that literally no one picks up on?
including
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to realize how great I am. It sucks, but but you guys have helped me deal with that part of it. So now I'm like, yeah, let me out of this cage. I'm ready for that lead role in a war.
Oh shit. All right.
Yeah, and as long as this thing is like I'm in weed, like I wouldn't be in the weed like I was. So like people send me enough donations that I'm like, go top shelf.
Go.
This week I didn't get them as much, and I don't care because it
jeez.
was enough because I'm ahead of the game.
Good.
Like fucking
For
help somebody else, man. I'm a small fucking cog in the situation, man. But I can be entertaining with top shelf weed where I can't be as entertaining with that mid shelf weed. And I've tried, and I've
You're
run
like,
my head into the wall a million
Hey,
times, going, "What is the difference here?"
yeah.
It's science. It's science.
I guess it's up to you, the viewer, to decide what kind of show Andy
Yeah,
does.
and we're
What do
week
you
out.
want? Yeah.
You
What
want
do you
me?
want?
Zero adventure.
Why should I do less? Why? What is it about me you think I should do less in this? What are you holding your money in your account for? For soccer league? For soccer league? Your kid's never leaving the house again. God damn you.
This
You
is the old
hoarder.
Dragon's Lair video game.
Yeah.
Go left or right.
Yeah, quit
Yeah.
being money hoarders. In the end, it's just something you're gonna have to shred to keep them.
You're gonna burn it for warmth.
Yeah, once the Russians cut our power off in the winter, it's gonna be like, God damn you, Putin, Putin is like Ashton Kutcher without empathy or a sense of humor, But he just keeps pranking us. God damn it, Putin.
Oh, he's punking us.
Yeah, Putin. Oh, Putin.
Oh,
Not again, Putin.
Mm.
I'm
All
about,
right.
I'm about Putin down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some Bolton, some Putin sympathizers if I have to. But I'm thinking if I could find a way to get to a bullhorn, I go to Coquille tomorrow. I get up
Careful. Just be careful.
Well, I am. Yeah,
Times are fucking. It's crazy out there, dude. I can tell you, like, it might not seem it because I mean I know you're all watching TV, but like.
Here's what I would
like
do.
thing,
Here's what I would do.
you know?
Things that make
People are happening around.
angry
me.
Nazis.
Weird.
Oh, wait, which side is he on? I would get on a bullhorn and say, the machines will soon replace you.
What?
Something like that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
they can't even go, wait, he's against us? Or no, the machines will soon replace you.
Yeah.
The machine, both sides would be going, I'm not sure which side this guy's on. But if you have a bullhorn, you can make light of both sides, and then you can eventually, if you get a chuckle here and there, and they think they're laughing at them, you think they're laughing at them, or whatever, and then
it goes back.
Yeah,
it goes back to the original story that started this whole thing off. It's Andy
Stop.
trying to be funny in front of the police. It just never works out well.
Well,
adding
and
a
it was the
bullhorn
same
to
thing.
the situation.
This is what where I got a book on dysfunctional families, and then it was like I'm the youngest, and then a lot of times the youngest is the most empathetic of the group, and because it gets the best of the parenting towards the thing or whatever, and is also the mascot and the one who tries to lighten the situation up by humor, and that's what I would do. My family would be having a big vicious fight, and I would come in there and try to go, hey, blah, 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 and then bomb and then get walked. I would leave the room, and then I would go punch my pillow and think of ways to get back at him. But I tried.
Rebel without a cause.
Yeah, rebel rouser without a cause. That's. Oh, but the title of the comedy specials, and Paul really liked it, is Last Shot, because we talked about how I had no fucking way. I mean, I wing it because that's the only way it works. But I wanted to be better. I wanted to be. I wanted to be better.
Are you on like a weird Hollywood interview tour for your new special right now? Because
a lot of people. I guess I kind of am because
we've never heard you do.
I guess a lot of people Shaylee got shorted money, and I got to come up with a list of people who donated. And I feel all of a sudden like, I kind of dropped the ball and really telling people how much I appreciated it. So the people who donated, I'm saying, and it's going to be really fucking good. So there's your Hollywood motherfucking. It's going to be better than anything Andy Dick ever did.
It's not Andy Griffith level, but it's above Andy Dick. He's like one of the middle Andys.
And I got a lot of Andy Messersmith baseball cards, and he was a mid-level pitcher, and I feel like this will be his best season. Level comedy thing.
Middle acts matter.
Middle acts matter. They do.
All great titles.
Middle acts matter.
That should be, dude. If we go out, that will be the name of what a tour should be. Middle acts matter.
Yeah, and then we can have James Inman on the tour just so we have one.
No.
Because we got some heat up in front, man. So we're going to need a James Inman so we can say, no, we legit have a middle.
No, we should get Inman on the road, and then we should put a fucking ventriloquist and his dummy in the front row every fucking night of the fucking tour, and not tell him in advance, and then just fuck with him completely.
I know. My mission today is to go through that box of pictures. I got to find the black guy. I took a picture of the audience.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And
yeah,
that's amazing.
It was like probably the best night of my life. To as far as like being woke.
The most exciting.
I'll never ever fucking, take a cop for granted. Feel like they're on my team, And back then I thought, let me explain the situation at the pool. Oh no. Once you get your knee grind out of my back and and I said, these are medium handcuffs or I'm a medium wrist. These are, but they just, it was like all they wanted to do was intimidate and bully. And it was like, that was over something that was a miss. And not even a clear crime report,
Yeah, just you swimming in a fucking hotel pool that you had a room in.
And I had to placate a black audience who didn't like me at all. So
that's not a crime.
Yeah, no. Hey, that's how you get on the WB channel back in the day.
Yeah, the other way to get on the WB channel is to have a time machine. Thanks for subscribing to the Patreon.
I knew that when I said
it. We love you guys. We have to go. Mitchell just told me there is we've had peaceful protests during the day, but there's a protest that's been coming down Santa Monica Boulevard toward us.
Get out of there.
So I have to be. I don't want it to be overrun by Visigoths.
We don't want this to turn into an issues with Brett podcast because of circumstance.
Yeah.
Be safe. Get out of there, man. Yeah.
You could maybe. I don't know if you can hear
Erickson
circling overhead.
And I'll say this, Erickson, my offer does apply. You can head my direction and stay in my apartment with your dog. Your fucking dog.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll take you up. We'll see how it goes the next couple of days. I'm sure we'll be fine. America's been through worse, right?
A win. Name one time. When have we ever been challenged on our home turf?
By us.
Never. Yeah. We've never battled on our home turf. We beat the English once. Oh, that's a tough fucking battle.
Yeah, no shit, right.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we don't all line up in all prim and proper fashion. We just shoot you in the head from behind. We won that one easy. We learned it from the Indians. They don't fucking take, Yeah, this is our first real thing, and it doesn't look good, but we'll probably be all right.
The only reason we beat the Indians is because we had way more of us.
Yeah,
they were better at all the rest of it. We just had the guns and the numbers.
If they would have had over a long period of time.
And if they would have had either of those, either the better guns or more people, they would have beaten us for sure, and rightly so. But
I've said this for years. I've said this since the 80s. If the Indians had the internet, they would have gotten together and they would have not lost to those colonials.
They'd have built a wall in New York. The helicopters are circling. I have to go.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great ending. This is a great cliffhanger.
Will any of us be back?
Yeah. Yeah, come this direction. And drowsy.
There it
Leave
is.
Oh no!
Don't be drowsy.
That's
Don't
Andy
don't let Andy throw you on the highway. Fight back. Fight
American
Andy.
drowsy.
Fight your Andy
That's
oppressor.
Andy at the Baby Drowsy store in Michigan Avenue in Chicago.
And he was just like a racist. I was anti-drowsy because I was taught to be anti-drowsy, and I really love drowsy.
You're not born with anti-drowsy in your heart.
No, that's a
No.
learned trait.
It's a learned trait by staying up late and the dolly, lovable little dolly drowsy. God damn it! Don't you guys want one when you see her to hold her and hug her? Oh, fuck.
I picture her with like deputy dog voice. You know what I mean? Like the
Cigarette voice. like
Well, I guess
Benjamin-
I'll go
Benjamin
over
Button.
to I guess
Actually,
I'll
we-
go over and get me a waffle at the.
Actually,
Oh,
weird.
look what I'm doing here.
I'm fighting the road again.
I'm with my uncle Andy. He brought me here. I don't know what
I
I'm
guess
doing.
I'll wait here in the gutter till Uncle Andy comes back. I hope it's not too
Oh,
long.
don't be taking a minute. I'm not too worried about it. I'll be all. Don't you worry about me.
Come here, Jesse. Come
He
here,
lives
Jesse.
at me. Listen, he might not have a key to the room. That's the problem. He can't get us back into the room because he doesn't have a key. So we're just gonna hang out here until I'll get his room key back, and then we'll go
Here's the cartoonist. We get Brett Brock to draw up Drowsy's Revenge. Little Andy throws her down on the road, and she kicks in the front door of the Enders house with a crossbow.
like Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. I always thought that might happen, but turns out it was just a doll.
And she's got fucking big Jims behind her. Well, the ones you threw in the tree.
Back up. All melted, no arms.
Big Jack with his scar across his face.
I think we should start a fucking fund me for. Let's get Big Jack out of that redwood. It's still there. He's up there. I know he's up there.
No, that's scarier.
That's
Big
fun.
Jack comes with a big tree growing out of his head.
At one point, my family talked about selling that tree as some sort of a windfall. You know, it's a big redwood tree with a big fucking burrow.
Okay.
It's actually, there's not a lot of redwoods in that area, but I think it's still there. And if you're listening, redwood tree, kick back Jack, yo. Give me back Jack. I'm a nature jacker. I'm a nature jacker. I'm a nature jacker. All right, Brett. Be careful.
Right,
watch out for
Peace.
white people. Watch out for the whiteys.
Subscribe.
Get out of there.
Tell your friends to subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Hey, should we
Terry
not?
Mitchell. Take a good last look.
Yeah, should we not Patron Erickson, or should we not Venmo Erickson on his way out in a fucking pandemic and a mass exodus, white people leaving LA?
Where I'm going, money
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but maybe some
Once you get the
chicken.
room booked and
Oh wait, you're a vegetarian. Fuck it. You don't need anything. Get out. Eat some grass.